Niggas, they love with that. Don't get too comfortable in the streets, cause niggas too love with that. Yeah, really got shit on the let's get it. I got a 5-course meal on my collar. You could eat a lobster and steak with a pot full of snakes. God steady blessing my partners. Bernie with the bowl, but I'm Trump with the dollars. Rapunzel on the wrist, rose gold, 8 hour. Head full of diamonds, hand full of scholars. Picture what you pickin', pickpocket, a robber. Batman trying to beat Bane with a bottle. Tell him sick come, he don't want a problem. Redhead still river dancing on the island. I'm from Riverdale, so you know I'm staying silent. But at the same time, my silence is a Bible. In the strip club, it's 30 on my arrival. They gon' either praise you or either dislike you. Either way it go, my sniper probably a guide you. 360, so you know who I'm around to. Asking worker man, what the fuck you been up to? Feeding my families, that's friends who got stuck to. Yeah, cause and effect, off of my death. God only bring a real nigga to the steps. I looked at my phone, saw shadow with death. I turned Kanye, cause he still gon' protect. I turn God when I roll up the dope. Roll up the dope. Roll up the dope. Roll up the dope. Whipping the ghost. Ghost. Whipping the ghost. Whipping the ghost. I peel off when I whip with the ghost. When I whip with the ghost, whip with the ghost, whip with the ghost, when I whip with the ghost. Amen. Pray to the coat, pray to the coat, pray to the coat. Amen, amen. When I pray to the coat, when I pray to the coat. Yeah, one soul, stay in my lows, stay in my lows, stay in my lows, stay in my lows, stay in my lows. Stay in my lows, stay in my lows. Pull up the rose, twist up the blows. Twist up the blow, twist up the blow, twist up the blow, twist up the blow. Yeah, I'm God, so that bitch a go. Yeah, that bitch a go. That bitch a go. That bitch a go. So that bitch a go. Yeah, that bitch a go. Go. Power up the road. Power up the road. Yeah. No, right now, but probably after this couple next time. So I can get one up, pull up in a foreign truck. Hoes really want her, really want more of us to start. That's how they get started. I'm pulling in the mood too. Fuck what I do there. Bitches on my bitch that took out a Uber. I get a throwback. I got a jersey that just not a throwback. I'm finna ball in the league where you throw that. Bitch, let me fuck on your face where you throw that. I'm finna chinchilla on my coat it. I need it. My coat it. I need it. Whoa. Nigga come in and he whipping that cold. I put on rose gold, I look too cold. Bitch on my dick cause a nigga too froze. I pull a double cup, drop in the fall. Whoa. Travel the world. Fuck on your girl, fuck on your hoe. You won't get a backseat, that is a fake shit. If I'm down with that,
All right. Sorry to bed. I gotta learn how to take that loop off, bro. This be killing me every time, Sean. Well deserved. My hand hit the keyboard. Well deserved. This is gonna be a great show today. All right. SB Talk Sports, real takes over fake debates. We are here live and direct, and I'm messing up already. I'm here, Shaq Barnes, aka SB Talk Sports, here with my co-host Sean. Then cut the music early. We just gonna have to get right into it because I do have a lot to say, Sean, and it's a lot of different perspectives. So maybe that's why I'm messing up because some things I can't really understand. We got the NBA. They released the schedule. Great. Primetime game, got to make your money, new TV deals. But I'm really having a problem understanding that it's a lot of young players in the league and a lot of great players that are old. Maybe you should promote the old guys. Then, Sean, we're going to have to go ahead and get into the NBA scheduling, but teams doing different dynamics. national TV game list with this schedule. Then we got to talk about the Hall of Fame. You show about the Reggie Miller drama. Then we got to get into some football. I'll give you guys the topics later on football because I got to ask my co-host, Sean, how are you doing today? I had to get my little soliloquy off to make up for it on the rebound of what happened. So I got to get my soliloquy off a little bit. After Sean said we're going to salute to the chat. What's going on, Sean?
Shaq, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? It's Friday. You know how we do. It's Friday. Got a lot to recap from the week. Some stuff to talk about, coming up for the weekend, but definitely looking forward to this conversation. A lot of stuff been going on last couple of days, and I can't wait to get into it.
Yes, we can. So we go ahead and salute to the chat. Everybody in the Real Takes or Fake Debate community, RTOFD community. Lakers in 5. He said, what's going on? What's Lakers in 5? Big Fan Breezy. What's going on? Citizen Lou. Shout out Citizen Lou. That man got great content. Shout out Bang Sport. He has great content too. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe. Brian A is in the building. Shout out Brian A. Rundown Productions. What's up? One above all. That's from Brother O Draft. He picked one above all. Salute Jason Ling. Shoot Tiff. We got Mingle Jester in the building. We got Nicholas Brown. We got Gold in the building. Other Goat. We got Junior in the building. But yeah. So Sean, there's a lot of things I want to go about it. About everything that we got to say. But like I said, the first thing I really have a problem. We got to talk about this NBA schedule. They announced the schedule for the 2023 season. Obviously, basketball season start on October 4th.
Right.
A lot of good and bad thing about it. But so before we get to it, how do you just is you getting that vibe basketball back, we get the schedule announced? And because I know football finna start, but how's your basketball man right now?
I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong, I watch basketball season from the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. But I don't really get turned up for basketball till January. And normally that's, because NFL playoffs are going on at that time. So it's fewer, NFL games. Definitely college football is kind of winding down because, it's bowl season and you get into the national championship.
I see you with the FSU drip on. Yeah, I see you. I see you.
Yeah. Shout out to those. But, so normally I'm just, I'm normally getting turned up for it. Where Christmas Day, obviously, you got the Christmas Day game. Right. That's when NBA really kind of launches itself. We definitely here, even though it's into the season. But yeah, I did see the schedule release. Certainly, and there's some people talking about teams getting nationally televised games versus not. And one thing I will say, this is going back in the day, and I think it's even true today. You kind of had to earn your nationally televised games. You know what I mean? You either as a player or as a franchise, you had to earn it. Yep. And whether we like it or not, the Warriors, the Lakers, the Suns, the Celtics, and the Nuggets, and the Bucks, for that matter, they're the drivers. They're the teams. Right. That, you think about it. All of these teams have been in the NBA Finals in the last 4 years, at least. So, but, the fact that there's one team that's been in more NBA Finals than all of these teams in the last 4 years is not on here.
Come on now. Come on now. That's my problem.
But that said, you got to earn it. And that's really what it comes down to. And I think, these young teams, like the Hornets, for example, like the Pistons, for example, this is the year to say, hey, you know what? We don't like the fact we only got a few nationally televised games. Now let's, now it's time to say, you know what? Let's show them why we need to be on national TV and go out and win some games and say, yeah, y'all got to put us on national TV.
Yeah, and then shout out Common Impressions on the Kick chat too, right there. We are live on Kick too, so make sure you guys follow on Kick. And everything, want to know Real Takes over Fake Debate. See now, Sean, this is my problem. Cool. I 100% agree with your soliloquy that these teams earn their spot. But 41 games for the Lakers, 41 games for the Warriors, and the Suns, it's a little overdraft for me. And this is where I get in a little detail at, because the teams at the bottom right here, 100% agree. Maybe the Pistons could have got 6, But this is where my problem come in at. Steph Curry, LeBron is on this. He only got a couple more years. KD only got a couple more years. Maybe Steph too. You got to promote the young talent. And we look at this list, and obviously I can tell you right now, one team is missing. It's the Washington Wizards, but we don't care. They at 4. We don't care about the Washington Wizards. We don't want to see Jordan Poole. But my biggest soliloquy problem, like everybody go think I'm gonna say my Chicago Bulls having 7 games. No, I think we deserve 7 because we haven't earned it. And I'm going with that soliloquy that you said, Sean. My problem is like, let's look at Orlando. Paulo Banchero is probably one of your best young players who might take over the league. I think we need to see a little bit more of him. He came off a great rookie season. Then we go to Minnesota. They got 10. I think Anthony Edwards should at least get 15. He's must-see TV. And let me see what another team that I had a problem with. I think Brooklyn had 11. That's fine. Where OKC? What OKC at right now? OKC got 13. That's a reasonable number. It was another team I had a problem with. I can't remember.
I can tell you one team I had a problem with outside of my team, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with the Pelicans only having 12 nationally televised games.
I mean, if you know Zion ain't gonna play, is he gonna play? That's the thing.
We gotta assume going into the season he's probably gonna play, right? And he is, must see TV.
That is true.
And and I know Jason Liu in the chat says Spurs 19. Wemby is
there it goes. Thank you. Yeah. Why do the Spurs have it? That is top tier glazing. They've done nothing.
Well, let's think about it. How many nationally televised games did Cleveland get in LeBron's rookie year? I don't know the exact number, but I can tell you it was more than a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
I had to look that up, but I don't know.
I'm not sure the exact number, but I can tell you it was definitely more than they had in 2002. That I can tell you.
That's a fact.
So I think it's really a matter of they got this young, very intriguing talent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, even non-NBA fans are interested in. You got to put it on national TV. There's no way around it.
That was my problem, though. I think the Detroit Pistons, and I'm not even saying that because everybody can be like, "Oh yeah, you give the Piston love because go the editor." No, they got a bunch of young talent on that team with Ivy, Cade that the people want to see. I think if the Spurs can get 19, and I know it's Wemby, and the Magic only get 5, you could get Detroit at least like 7. I think the Magic at least got like 10.
Yeah, and so I agree.
You got to promote the young talent at some point.
I agree with you. I think Paolo and them should have gotten more nationally televised games. But let's be real. The reason why the Lakers get 40 nationally televised games is not just because they're the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's because this is a slight chance this might be LeBron's last season.
It's a possibility, yes.
So you want to get as many of his nationally televised his games on national television as possible. Mm-hmm. And also to encourage them, that he plays in most of those games. And if he's gonna, load manage, which I think he is obviously going into year 1. You want to make sure that if they're playing in load management, that it's going to be on those games that nobody's likely to see. That it's got to be those nationally televised games. So yeah.
No, you're 100% right. Let's go to the chat real quick. Before I got to best something that I had, we can talk about something good about the chat while my daughter and them are going crazy. But okay, so we got, Spurs got 19 is crazy. How Utah get more games than the Pistons in Orlando and Indy, which is crazy. Steph, LeBron, KD draw viewers. I guess you guys all right a little bit. Shout out Nicholas Brown. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, man. Oh, what we got? Salute G Money. G Money is in the building. I know I seen your name. There you go. Salute G Money's in the building. Jason said they huge glazing Wemby. So Leo go. Big Nets fan said only 11. All right. Said Toronto got no love. No, they don't deserve no love. Like the stream. There you go. Like the stream. So, Sean, once again, let me get this off the screen. So, like I said, let's talk about something good about the schedule. My Chicago Bulls did something great. I say Zach LaVine, I choose you for a reason. So let's go ahead and see why I said this, man. I love this. I love this. This is fire. Speaking of the Glazer. Yeah.
You on mute, SB, if you're talking.
Thank you. I said, let me mute it. Let me turn that off for the Bulls Hills with a copyright strike. But that's the one thing that is positive and good that I do like about when the season does come out, especially with teams that I like coincidentally, like the Chargers do a great job. They do like the anime themes. The Bulls did this throwback to like the OG and Pokemon. What you think about that? I think it was fire. I think it was hard. If you guys don't watch the whole thing is on Bulls Twitter.
I mean, I would say that the Bulls marketing and promotions department did a better job than the Bulls front office did this offseason with that video. So if that's going to be the highlight of the season,
I mean, it might be Zach LaVine. I choose. So, but when did you get a chance to look at? Because obviously, I didn't just pick it just because it was Chicago Bulls. I just thought it was fire. That's the one I seen. But when you looked at, did you get a chance to look at the Miami Heat schedule? Did you like it, love it, or you just like it is what it is?
I mean, it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. It's, every year, it's 82 games. Every year, you're going to play more games in your division. Mm-hmm. What I'm always curious about is like the West Coast swings, things like that.
But the in-season tournament here, so it's going to be a little bit different.
Well, yeah, that, and I tell you the other thing I like that the NBA did this year with the schedule was basically kind of having the rivalry weeks. Yeah. Kind of, doing what college football does, what the NFL does in week 18 with their schedule. MLB kind of does it with interleague play, but also they try to put some rivalries up against each other on certain weekends or whatever. Yes. As the Yankees are getting smashed right now, but
you want to just throw that in there, huh?
Obviously as a Yankee fan, I saw the score and I don't even want to talk about it. But
I forgot you like the Yankees too, Sean. Okay, cool. I thought that was a jab at me. I'm like,
no, not at all. Yeah, it was a jab at myself.
Don't kick me while I'm down, Sean. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I like that they did that. I like that they really put an emphasis on trying to take historical rivalries. And I know people were like, why are the Blazers and Spurs playing on the rivalry week? That's a historical rivalry. Back really into the 90s. So, it's not surprising that they did that. The Knicks Heat are in the rivalry week. Heat Celtics are in that rivalry week. So did
they do the Bulls versus the Pistons around that time? I hope they did.
I got to look at it again to see.
I know we got the Celtics versus Lakers. You ain't got to question that at all.
I like that they did that. I really like that they did that, to be honest with you. So,
No, I like that they did that too. I think they need to bring more emphasis on the regular season. Maybe we can get more love. And also, you guys in comment in the chat, if you got any questions for me and Sean, please ask if you got anything question on the topic. Because Mingle Justin wants to know, what is this in-season tournament nonsense? I'm going to just tell you this. It's a tournament where they're trying to make people take the regular season seriously, and they paying you more than you get paid in the playoffs to play in this thing. And don't worry about this, because in the legacy conversation, Michael Jordan, and if LeBron don't win it this year in the next 2 years, don't have an in-season tournament championship, but Wembanyama should be the GOAT because he has 3 to 4 in-season tournament championships. So be prepared for that. Be prepared. Sean, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm curious to see how it's going to play out and how teams are going to do it, knowing that games on their schedule are part of the in-season tournament.
Yep.
I'm really curious to see how it plays out. And again, at the end of the day, if you're a team that's in championship contention and you're going to rest guys and you're not worried about winning an in-season tournament, it's going to be a regular game for you. But I do like I'm in wait and see mode. That's all I'm saying.
Wait and see, yeah.
Wait and see mode.
Yeah, and then like the main point I was bringing about the schedule is, like I said, the national TV game list that the NBA hates young players. So, Sean, I want to ask you, and from your honest perspective, what can the NBA do? Because obviously, like you said these other teams earned it. But it's hard for these young guys who are great young guys, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to get drafted to a trash situation. So how can we get these young guys out on TV? Because I'm telling you, Sean, I done seen this Paolo kid play. He is must-see TV. He is. I don't understand how he's not more than 5 games. I get it's Orlando, but that kid with that young talent that they have, they should have got more games. It's nothing that nobody can tell me they're saying they should. So what could they do?
Well, I think two things. One, they try to promote young guys more during All-Star weekend. I mean, if you look at the Rising Stars game, if you look at All-Star Saturday night, that's not a veteran-laden event. That's usually more of a young guy event, with the events that go on All-Star Saturday night. So to me, if you're a young guy and you're, leading a young franchise or whatever, if you get to go to All-Star weekend, show out at All-Star weekend. And that is going to draw more eyes to your team when you get back home. I remember, I'll just use an example, in 2007, Dwight Howard.
Correct.
When they had the All-Star weekend, it was in Vegas. He won the slam dunk contest. He was in the All-Star game. He took it seriously because it was an opportunity to help put Orlando on the map. Right. And it really did.
Yeah.
As a rising franchise, and they were on national TV more. A couple years later, they're in the finals. So I think that's what's got to kind of happen is these young guys got to do that, and also you got to win. If you win games and people are taking note and you're driving conversation, you may be in the space to get some flex games. Reason where guys want to see it. What's all this hype? What's all this talk? So. To me, that's really control what you control at the end of the day. Teams don't control the schedule. Players don't control the schedule. But you can control the product you put out on the floor. Yeah. And that's what you got to worry about and focus on.
Okay. I'm 100% with that. But then now, when we go from the young players, and I'm going to drop this link somewhere else to keep sharing it. Make sure you guys like and share the screen. Just tell it to a friend. We almost at 2K. We are 80 subs away from 2K. So get us to 2K. And if we get to 2K, I might do a giveaway at 2K. If you go put the hand together for 2K for 2K.
Yeah, we'll be giving away a used rebuilt.
1 VC over here.
One PlayStation 1. We're giving away a PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1 vintage.
Vintage. Internet is vintage.
And then speaking of that, if you want to help to the donate to SB Talk Sports, going at the Cash App right there. And then they can help give it to a giveaway. But Sean, like I was going to bring up,
Jai Jr. has a question in the chat as well.
You do? Okay, let me go to the chat. I'm sorry, Jai Jr. Jai Jr. He said, if the Celtics don't win this season, should they split JB and JT? Sean, you can go ahead and hit that first while I put these two things together. What you got on that?
Objectively, no. They should not split up.
There you go.
Objectively, no. They should not split up. Now, as a Heat fan, break them up. I'm good. No, in all seriousness, no. It's you don't split guys up that are in their mid-20s that are both all-stars. Their prime. They've added Porzingis, obviously, and they got a pretty good team there. You got to see what it's going to be for the next couple of years, in my mind. So yeah, you don't split it up.
100% no, you don't split them up, bro, because this is the problem that we do have. It is actually now I'm finna load up the other video, but we're gonna talk about this first so give me time to load it up. You don't split them up, bro. We have to stop living in this microwave generation of letting and breaking every team up. No, we used to let people grow, develop, have ups and downs and flaws with each other. And that's how you get to the point of this list and you see people like these guys who are potential Hall of Famers. But now we're going to get to the point. This is the 2024 Basketball Hall of Fame list. And none of these guys was microwave and left teams once their situation didn't work out. You have to let them develop and grow. But, Sean, speaking of have to something and let it develop and grow, I think we didn't let the Hall of Fame, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, is it getting watered down? Because I think that we put too much water on the plant of the Hall of Fame. And I know what you're going to say, and we talked about this before the show, that it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. And it is hard for a lot of fans to accept that it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So everything you did during that era touching the basketball does count. But, Sean, you're looking at this class who might be the next Hall of Famers. I just ask you straight up, is the Hall of Fame getting watered down?
I mean, anytime you add something to an already existing formula or group, it naturally is going to water down, right? I think the big thing is, every year there are guys who get in the Hall of Fame who are deserving of the Hall of Fame.
Mm.
Every year, if you just look at their total basketball life. Now, if you just look at their NBA careers, that's a different conversation. But if you look at their total basketball life, the majority of the time they get it right. Now,
correct.
Here's where and this conversation came up this week with Gilbert Arenas, and he's basically saying if you're not the first or second best player on a great team, you shouldn't get in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. I don't know if that's true.
It's not because if you going out there like Luka Doncic right now is already a Hall of Famer. He could quit basketball right now today, and he's going to make the Hall of Fame off what he did overseas. It is not necessary. He could have came in the league and been a bust. He couldn't have been the first option on the great team, but he's going to make the Hall of Fame just off what he did overseas. So that logic of you got to be the best option on the great team, I think the logic that we need to come up with, and I think that will actually save the situation, is make an NBA Hall of Fame only.
Right. Yeah, and so that's the other side of it, because I think there's a guy that a lot of people know, played in the NBA for a long time, and then went overseas and was basically a megastar overseas by the name of Stephon Marbury.
Starberry.
There's an argument that based on what he did in the NBA and you combine what he did overseas, he's a Hall of Famer.
He might be.
I don't know, but I think he's got a strong case to get in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think. If you count, because if we count overseas basketball, he went over there and took over in China.
Yeah,
Marbury should be and will be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
When did he officially retire yet or no? Or he still playing?
Who's that? Marbury?
Marbury, Starberry. Did he officially retire yet or no?
He retired.
Oh yeah, so he has no choice because what you gonna say? You don't respect China now? Like don't do that now. Like we respect everything overseas, so respect it. I think so.
Yeah, and to be clear, there is a college basketball Hall of Fame.
That is, yep.
There is a Euro basketball Hall of Fame. So they have different Hall of Fames, but the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame is about your basketball life.
Yep.
It's about your basketball life. College is just about what you did in college. That's it. And there are guys in the College Basketball Hall of Fame who are not in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Right. So they have them, right?
Yeah.
Should there be an NBA Hall of Fame? I don't know if we need an NBA Hall of Fame, because the fact is, if you have a great NBA career, you're likely to get in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Correct. But okay, Sean, my second thing for this point, we see the picture of the potential class. Give me the one person on here. Obviously, you can say, let's say not deserving, because all these players are great. They did have a great career. If looking at this photo right here, let me take this banner down for the short. Who is most likely to get in and who has the least chance of not making it, if you had to pick two?
So the person I think is most likely to get in this photo is Chauncey.
Okay.
Chauncey.
Okay.
5-time All-Star, Finals MVP. The team was in, I believe, 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
From 2002 to 2008. And so I think he's got the best case.
Yep.
To get in the Basketball Hall of Fame. The least.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, maybe Sean Marion. I would say maybe the least.
Dang.
Maybe Sean Marion. Yeah, it's hard because again, like when I look at Amari Stoudemire, I look at Amari Stoudemire's career the way I look at Chris Webber's. He had about a 5-year run where he was that dude, and maybe 6. And so Chris Webber got in, but Chris Webber got in part because of Michigan and Amari's going to be an interesting argument. He doesn't have college, obviously came from high school.
So yep. So that's going to be hard for his case, 100%.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously I'm not going to take your Chauncey answer because I definitely agree with the Chauncey one. I think Vince Carter is going to be most likely because if Tracy McGrady made it, that opened the gates up for a lot of people. But that's a different story for a different day. I think for what he did for Toronto, because I'm glad that Vince Carter finally actually get his love back in Toronto because there was a lot of things done to VC petty about you getting mad over a guy going to his graduation to get his degree. That was crazy to me. Then blame that he gave up on the Raptors. I know they was hating on the whole time, but now they actually showed love because they knew they was wrong. The Raptors was wrong. So I say VC because he was one of the changed the dunk contest. Air Canada. He was like I don't know. It was like half man, half amazing. Like watching Vince Carter play was spectacular. So I think off his talent alone, I think he got the best shot besides Big Shot Billups.
Right.
And as much as I love my boy Noah, and I know he won the DPOY, he led the league and but I can't do Noah like that because we count college. He won 2 in Florida.
Right. Yeah. I think Noah's got a good case. Now,
yeah, Noah might get it. It might be Jamal.
I think Jamal's got a great case too because I think he's got 3 6 Man of the Year awards.
Only behind Lou Williams, right?
Yeah, and I believe he's got over 20,000 points if I'm not mistaken. But it's so yeah, I think he's gonna have an interesting case. Amari Stoudemire though is an interesting conversation only because I think he's 6-time All-Star. He was a Rookie of the Year. He was 5-time, I believe, All NBA. So yeah, he's gonna have an interesting case. And Jamal Crawford has just under 20,000 points. He got 19,400. So just under 20,000 points. I mean, all of them are gonna be in the conversation. And all of these guys may very well get in at some point. But again, I think it's going to be it is an interesting conversation. And again, part of their conversation was should team accomplishments factor into your Hall of Fame case? Well, the fact that you're the 3rd, maybe even 4th best guy on a dynasty, you're likely to get in. It's just as simple as that.
What if you missed the big shot? You hit the clutch shot in for here and there. 7 rings.
Yeah, exactly. Again.
I was taking a shot. You believe he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Chauncey?
No, not Big Shot Bob. I mean, no, not big.
Yeah, but he was never the 3rd best player on those championship teams.
Yeah, all 7 of them.
And he only has 1 career accolade, which he made all rookie 2nd team. Never made an All-Star team. Nothing.
He wasn't. Yeah. So I want you guys to comment in the chat. Let us know, looking at this picture alone, who you got making the Hall of Fame. Let us know. Sean got Chauncey, Mr. Big Shot Billups. I got VC Air Canada. Please let me know, comment in the chat and in the kick. And make sure you guys watching and you love the content. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and donate to the channel. Obviously, we are launching other shows too on this channel. If you want to be a panelist, hit me up at Real Takes on Facebook base or just join the Discord. All links are in every bio, so please join. So, we have good chemistry. We do a great show. Everybody loves it so far. I appreciate everybody. Always give us great feedback about the show. But another day, another James Harden drama. And Reggie Miller had a lot to say about it. And I put the Reggie Miller picture up while I get this together. So another day, more drama with James Harden. And Reggie Miller was so perplexed about this situation. He had this to say about it.
Part of the NBA for a long time, almost 40 years for me, right?
Yes.
I cannot think of another MVP, a guy wanting to get out from playing with the MVP. Think about that.
Yeah.
Joel MVP was the MVP last year, correct?
Yes.
Think about this. So I had to go back. I looked like Jokic. That would be like Jamal Murray saying, I don't want to play with Jokic. That would be like Chris Middleton saying, you know what? I don't want to play with Giannis. LeBron James when he was in Miami. You think Dwayne Wade would have been like, you know what? Back-to-back MVPs, I got to get out. Have you ever heard of someone not wanting to play with an MVP?
There you go, Sean. So with that clip, that was on NBA TV. Reggie Miller was talking about how do you not want to play with an MVP? So, Sean, how do you not want to play with an MVP?
So, just to be clear, I want to correct something in the chat. Warren said Horace Grant left Jordan. No, Jordan retired in 93. Harden didn't leave the Bulls until 94. Reinsdorf didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
And Orlando did.
Yeah. See, let's not get that mixed up too. Leaving because you cannot get a contract is different from what Harden want to leave. Harden wants it's a contract problem, but he was already talking about leaving and didn't want to play there. Like he literally don't want to play with Joel Embiid. That's the problem.
Right.
Because money is the problem in the situation, and I get that. But it's just like Horace Grant left because they wasn't giving him a contract. They prolonging James Harden contract. And he said Daryl Morey promised him something. But he already had a problem with Joel Embiid. He complained about the play style because he can't ball hog or run I guess because they was running the pace slow with Joel Embiid. So he already had problems. And this was just the icing on the cake or his way to open the gate for him to escape pretty much the Sixers situation. Right. That's pretty much that's how I look at it. Because it can't be too much of it just my contract. That could be a big part, but I guarantee you want to leave because the play style too. Because
the problem is two things. Number one, James Harden opted out of his contract last season. Player option, he opted out. He re-signed with the Sixers on a 1-and-1 deal.
Yep.
He took $10 million less, roughly, than he could have gotten. I don't know what his conversations were with Daryl Morey, what his handshake conversations were with Daryl Morey. Nobody knows. But I would presume that he told Harden, take a little less this year so we can go out and we can add some pieces. They're able to get
PJ Tucker.
They're able to get DeAnthony Melton because they wanted to try to, win one this year.
Right.
Okay, fast forward this year, Joel Embiid is the MVP. Harden has a good season, but not an all-time great Harden season, if you will. I think he understood this team is built around Joel Embiid, and he tried to play that way. So fast forward this offseason, I don't know what his conversation was with Daryl Morey. And again, this is all presumptive. I'm going to presume that he looked at the market and probably said, you know what, there's not a team out there that's going to offer me a max deal. However, I also don't want to leave the Sixers hanging. So if I opt in and I tell Daryl Morey, hey, I'm opting in, but I want to trade it to the Clippers. If Daryl Morey told him, hey, yeah, we'll do what we can. We're going to do everything we can to get to the Clippers. And he doesn't do that. And also, again, they also said, hey, we don't want to give you a max contract this offseason. Then I understand James Harden's point from a business perspective. But what Reggie's talking about is purely basketball.
Yeah.
And from a basketball perspective, guys don't leave MVPs.
Yeah.
They don't, not reigning MVPs.
Yeah. No, they don't. I never seen nobody win an MVP and his co-host left him the next year after he won an MVP.
Right. That'd be like us winning an Emmy for this show and then me saying, yeah, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah. You'd be like, bro, we just won an Emmy, bro.
We just won an Emmy. You just won an Emmy. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I think Harden ain't been happy since he left Houston because sometimes we've got to realize in life the grass ain't green on the other side. So don't always compare what you see other people doing or try to link up and do something. We all done been through this before, Sean. You can say it too. The grass ain't green on the other side all the time. Sometimes you might need to stay where you're at. You might not win, but you can dribble the ball how you want to. You can shoot all the shots. Then you build a cachet with that organization where you can say, pay me this contract like a Draymond Green and you'll get the money you owe, or you might get overpaid because you build more cachet in this location. You ain't done nothing in Philly to demand nothing. Because guess what? Daryl Morey still got to do a job. And he got to answer somebody who said no to paying you, but yes to Tyrese Maxey. Because Maxey ain't got his contract yet. And besides Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey is the only person that needs to get paid.
Right.
That's it for me. I don't really see nobody else where it could go to.
Right.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the Sixers are trying to keep the books clean for 2024. We talked about this last week. They got a long-term plan. How do we reset this thing around Joel Embiid? Right. Obviously, Maxey's going to be a part of that, right?
Yep.
They could have given Maxey his rookie extension this year. They waited and said, no, we'll give it to you next year. He'll be a restricted free agent, which means he can honestly get an offer on the market, and they can match it.
Match it.
But more than likely, they will work out an extension with him before he even hits restricted free agency.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep the books clean. They want to be in a position to go out and get another potential max guy next offseason that they can put with Maxey and with Embiid. So I understand it from the Sixers' perspective. With Harden, the problem is he's doing what NBA players traditionally do. They act out. Say, I'm not going to training camp, or they show the training camp looking like Rick Ross. Literally what he's probably going to do. He's going to come to camp with a fat suit on, and so at the end of the day, I think that's what we're going to see. And knowing Philly fans the way I do, the moment he steps on the floor, he's getting booed. He get booed.
He's getting booed. And speaking of Harden, actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. I seen it earlier and I couldn't find it again. James Harden was talking to a reporter, and he actually responded. And I think his media team. Oh, boom! Yep, I found it. Here you go, right here. Let me share my screen. And actually, I think he must have talked with his team because his tone a little bit changed a little bit. Sean, let me go let you hear this. Hold on.
Now staying in shape and getting ready for this. Do you have an open line of communication with the 76ers, and how much patience do you need to have to let this play out?
I'm been patient all summer, so for me, it's just focus on what I can control, and that's working out, staying in shape, and getting ready for a good season.
Too late to repair a relationship?
I think so.
Do you have an open line of communication with?
That's what it was right there, Sean. When he said it is too late to repair the relationship. So, Sean, is it too late to repair the relationship? It's done. It's cooked. It's over with. Even with the Sixers fan, this is over with. Done. We just call it one.
I mean, again, I think from the Sixers' perspective, this is a one-year relationship. They know it's going to end at some point.
Yep.
And so, I think it's done. Because even when he hits free agency, he's not going to re-sign there. He can walk for nothing. And again, will they complain? Probably not, because again, it keeps their boots clean. But the fact is when a dude basically has 1 year left on his deal, he's got a certain amount of leverage.
Right. And
he can say to any team that trades for him, you can trade for me, but I'm not re-signing here. Simple as that. And so Harden has that leverage. So the Sixers, in all honesty, I think he will probably end up getting traded. I just don't think it's going to be before the season. I think they're going to wait.
They'll wait and see. All right, man. Chat, let us know what you think about the situation, about James Harden and his drama. Also, let us know how you feel about the schedule. Somebody said that boy, Brick Ross is crazy. Brick Ross is crazy. Harden does not want to win.
I'll say Thick Ross, but
Thick Ross. James Harden Lowry, all right, out there, man. Look, go laughing too, man. Let me check the kid chat too before we switch up to the next part. Com said OKC and Portland should have more games. I agree, especially OKC, because that man Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a problem. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, join the Real Takes Over Fake Debates movement. I have an announcement and something to show you guys at the end of the show, but we got to switch over to the NFL grind. Now, former number one pick, Jadeveon Clowney, has signed with the Baltimore Ravens. I think this is a big move. Jamison Hensley reported on ESPN, the Baltimore Ravens have reached a deal to sign former number one pick Jadeveon Clowney. The team announced this Friday, provided much-needed experience and depth at the outsider linebacker position. This deal is worth $2.5 million, but could rise to $6 million, sources told Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. So, Sean, I don't know, Tiffy's somewhere probably dancing. What do you think about this move?
It's a great move for the Ravens. Great move for the Ravens. Salute, Boo. Great move for the Ravens. A couple things. When you look at the Ravens, when they are a Super Bowl contender, they always have usually 1 to 2 dominant edge rushers, and we know Jadeveon Clowney is that. Back in their history, Peter Bullware, Adelius Thomas. You go back Terrell Suggs. They've always kind of had that dominant edge guy, and Clowney can be that. And for him, if he goes and balls out this year, he may be able to sign sign a long-term deal somewhere. He hasn't really gotten that.
Which I don't know why. Jadeveon Clowney was so sought out the kind of college. He was the #1 pick for a reason. And I just didn't get why, because he's not a bad player. Like, he had a couple iffy years, especially in the beginning. But once he got in his flow, he was good. And I don't understand why he's such a journham. Maybe can you explain to me, Sean? Because he's not a bad player. He's good.
Right. Yeah. The issue is he has never had a 10-sack season in his career. The most he's had is 9.5 one season. So he's not a heavy sack guy, which is what teams look at. But he is he usually wins his pass rush rate. He has a high pass ruch rate.
He does.
He's not a big sack number guy. So if you're a team and you're looking at a guy and you're saying, hey, are we going to pay this guy, $15, $20 million to get to the quarterback, and he doesn't get sacks? I think that's a big part of it.
But I mean, but if he's still, the pressure that he brings does help though. So, but it's really at his position, it's only the number of sacks is the only thing that matters to get you paid.
Well, I mean, you just think about it. I mean, just think about the emphasis we put on sacks in today's NFL.
They do.
Right? It's huge, right? We go crazy when a guy has a 20-sack season.
That's true.
That's true. And he's never even had half that in a season. Yeah. So I think that's really the issue. He's really good against the run, and also too. I mean, not to say he's not a bad player. He's a very good player.
Great,
but he's also a guy who, frankly, that highlight against Michigan in
that one play everybody talks about all the time.
The one talks about, that took him to another stratosphere. And so. He's not really been that in the NFL. He's been really good, but I think the big issue is that he's just not a guy who gets a lot of sacks.
Yeah, that's tough. But I think this is one a good pickup for the Ravens. They added more to their defense, which is a great thing to add because I think defense wins championships. And you got that tough division that you got to play against. You got them Browns and you got them Bengals in there. So, and I think, and you in the wild, wild west of the AFC. So, any piece to get a player, no matter if his sacks are low, the skill set of a Jadeveon Clowney for $2.5 million, that's a steal. You take that every day of the week. I would take it every day of the week because that's easy money.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, just look at the AFC, right? And the AFC is literally Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers now, Tua, these teams in the AFC, Sunshine, these teams in the AFC, Anthony Richardson, these teams in the AFC have quarterbacks. And, you got to really get after quarterback. Simple as that. And to your point, even if he's not getting a lot of sacks, he does get pressure. And so I think it helps the Ravens quite a bit. I had the Ravens going to the AFC Championship game.
Well, you got them at.
Yeah, I know we haven't.
Is they gonna make the playoffs?
The Ravens?
I'm just saying it ain't 100% guaranteed though, Sean.
Yeah, they're a playoff team.
But I'm just because I think it's two teams in the AFC that deserves to be in the playoffs that ain't gonna make it, Sean. I think this is just gonna happen. It's going to happen.
They're going to be 4 to 5 teams in the AFC who think they're playoff teams who will not make the playoffs. But the Ravens will be in the playoffs. I got the Ravens. The Ravens win that division. I think the Ravens win that division.
Shout out my boy KC Osborne in the building. The Clippers fan, the only Clippers fan. And he say go Jets. He is the only Clippers fan. fan.
Yeah. What's up, KC? Yeah, you shouldn't wear that as a badge of honor, though. I'm just saying.
He loves them and the Jets actually back good, but he wear that as a badge of honor. You see, we can look at this picture, right? But there's another problem. He said go Jets, right? The Jets might be a problem to make it too. So it's like the wild man. It's gonna be hard, bro. It's gonna be teams where we're gonna look and be like, man, bro, they really didn't make the playoffs. Shout out, go. He said, like the video.
Yeah.
Shout out AFC East, aka AFC Beast. We'll see about that. Go said, great pickup. So also here go another thing that I kind of don't want to report about, but I guess is in the news. We're in the off season. Trust me, guys. We ain't gonna deal with too much drama stuff in the news, but I have to report it. This is a show. We do what we got to do. Former Bears, and that's what makes it hurt even more because he's a Bear. When you from the city, you play for the city, you get love. But former Bears DN Robert Quinn charged with assault in a hit and run situation in South Carolina. Reports say Quinn turned himself into the authorities after the incident on Tuesday, which he drove his truck over the road into a number of other vehicles. He allegedly got into a confrontation with one of the drivers, per WCIV. Another story of a former NFL player going through something bad. I pray for him. I pray for everybody in this situation and the family-wise. I hope everything's good. I hope it wasn't no drunken accident. I hope it wasn't no. Thank God it ain't lead to if he was arguing with somebody. You know, when people get hit, people bring out guns, fighting. So hopefully, from what I'm seeing through this report, nobody was really hurt. The cars just hit. Hold on, wait. It's something to say right here about what was a quote that said, according to the arrestee, a woman was sitting in her car in the driveway when Quinn drove into her vehicle. When she approached him to ask what is he doing, allegedly Quinn offered her to buy a beer. Then I can't even, that's crazy. Then he grabbed her shoulder, then stated, listen to me, and struck her with an open hand across her face. Good God. Okay, well, maybe it's worse than I thought. I hope this ain't 100% true, but man, Sean, I don't know if you got an opinion on it. Tell me how you really feel about this. This is worse than what I thought. I thought it was just like maybe something just hit and run, and maybe he got scared and drove off. But yeah, it's actually more to the story where he open hand slapped somebody and offered them a beer. I guess he think he's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody was killed in the situation.
Thank God.
So thank God for that. I mean, there's a lot, we don't know about the situation as these things are starting to come out. I think, one thing about Robert Quinn is that he's always been considered a pretty upstanding guy.
From what I heard too, yeah.
And, he's never been a guy that's had issues. This is, I think, his first legal issue of note. So, he's not a guy who's largely in stuff. So, he could have been drinking. He could have. We don't know.
We don't know 100% for sure. Yeah. And then come on, chat too, man. Everything I know, y'all. Everything with Antonio Brown there. Everything ain't CTE, y'all. Everything ain't. It could be a possibility. I'm not going to deny it. I am not a doctor. Beagle just said, I hope it's not a Henry Ruggs situation. I hope not too. But everything ain't CTE, y'all. Sometimes people just make mistakes and do stuff because people just think just because you're a football player and they just instantly throw CTE, you can do everything. No, that's not necessarily the case. That is not the case. Hey, Sean, so let me on to the next time. Let's actually talk some football.
Yeah.
So I learned from a wise man. I call him my granddad on my daddy's side because I never met my granddad on my daddy's side. He said a great quote. What a great quote right here. Hold on, wait up. Let me turn my volume up a little bit. There you go. Let me turn it up a little bit high. He said a great quote, Sean.
You've got to beat the man to be the man. You've got to beat the man to be
one more time, Rick.
The man.
The first one got messed up.
You've got to beat the
man. So to be the man, you got to beat the man. Watch the Commanders named Sam Howell as the starting quarterback. I had to say it one more time because the first one was halfway through. But to be the man, Sean, you got to beat the man. Shout out to the Great Blue Flair. Woo! What do you think about Sam Howell winning the starting job? And then also we got to talk about another rookie who won a starting job. But let's go here first.
I mean, congratulations on getting that. That's going to lead you to fourth in the division.
They will. I know the Giants might do bad. They pay Saquon. He might not run as hard. Never know.
I mean, they'll still be competitive, right? I mean, obviously that division is buoyed by the Eagles and the Cowboys, but listen. Here's the reality with Washington. This Washington franchise is getting ready to change over the next year, right? Yeah. This is probably Ron Rivera. I mean, short of them going on a Super Bowl run, this is going to be their last. It's going to be the last year of Ron Rivera. They'll probably have a high draft pick, which means they'll try to be in competition to get
Caleb
Williams or Drake May.
Please, if the NFL guys are listening, listen to me. Do not send. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me make sure 2 teams. 1, 2. It's 2 teams. Okay. Football guys, do not send Caleb Williams to the Arizona Cardinals or the goddamn Commanders and ruin their man career. It will be over with as quick as it started. Please. I ain't asked for much. Or charge a Super Bowl. If charge a Super Bowl, I'll take that. Please, come on, man.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. My belief is the Cardinals will get the first pick this year. I'm
going back to college.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think they could have the first 2 picks this year. They have Houston's first round pick next year. And we don't expect the Texans to be that good. They'll be competitive, but they probably won't be that good. So if I'm the Cardinals and I got the first 2 picks or 2 of the first 3 picks in 2024, and I would say if they have the first and third pick, it would not shock me, depending on the team drafting in front of them, they call that team at 2 and say, yeah, what do we need to do to move up to 2?
Move up, yeah. They move up 2. I can see that.
If I can get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. back to back, and I'm able to trade Kyler Murray to a team like Washington that's probably going to need a quarterback. Then I would do that.
So you think they might throw Kyler Murray in that trade to get the number 2 pick, the 3rd in Kyler?
Depends on
team.
What the team is, right? Yeah. And if the team is even interested in Kyler Murray, because they may not even be interested in Kyler Murray.
Yeah. And then, Sean, I meant to tell you, too, because I'm looking at the report right here, too. Your reaction was a perfect reaction, because listen, Rivera on Friday morning announced Howell has won the starting job. The news is not surprising, because the Commanders never really staged a legitimate competition for the starting job. Howell got practically all the first team work during the offseason and training camp ahead of Jacoby Brissett. So it was never really a competition. So we don't understand why it's just an announcement that he won the job, because nobody's surprised. Like, hey, you running all the first team snaps, you just do all the second team. Announcement, John. Sam Howell is our starting quarterback. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah. Yeah. Blue Bolt got a question in the chat for us.
Okay. Let's see what Blue Bowl got in the question. Congrats to Sam Howell, question mark. Fly Eagles fly. Blue Ball said, who wins the NFC? SB. Sean. So we talking overall? Okay. Sean, you go first.
Philly
Eagles. Fly Eagles fly. Yeah. I want to pick this team so bad, but their quarterback is scaring me in this situation. But everything else all around is great. We got 2 great running backs with Debo and Christian McCaffrey. I'm gonna do it. 49ers. I got the 49ers.
So let me throw out a bold take. It may not even be that bold.
Okay.
The 49ers will not win their division this year.
Who gonna win it?
Seattle.
That could happen. That's not a bad take. That could happen. Because I see the Seahawks making a deep run in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
I see the Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks get to the NFC Championship game.
I was going to say the Seahawks don't keep my dark horse in the NFC.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks losing in Philly in the NFC Championship game.
Okay. And since we're doing the NFC, who you got the AFC? I know Blue Ball, you had that Giants head on. We're going to pick the Giants. We're going to go pick the Giants at all.
Yeah.
KC predictions, he say AFC East, Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Patriots. I mean, unless if Tua don't get hurt, Dolphins winning that division. I don't care what nobody say.
I'll tell you 2 things scare me about the Bills and why I'm not picking them to win the division. Number 1, can they run the football?
No. No.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
They can't win the football. They can't run the football. The second thing is Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, is taking the year off.
Why? What happened with him?
Well, he just wanted the year off. I think he's just kind of worn down and just needed the year off. Just taking the year off. Whether he comes back, will be interesting.
Oh, so he like retired, but he told them I'm taking a year off.
He just said I'm taking the year off. Just taking the year off.
You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the team or whatever,
Right.
and but he's taking the year off, and honestly, I think he was probably a little frustrated because he thought he was going to be in line for a head coaching job the last couple of years.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And he didn't. So that might factor in. Don't know, but Leslie Frazier is one of the best defensive minds in football. He's quarterbacked that defense the last couple of years. Now Sean McDermott, the head coach, has to take over defensive play calling. I'm never a big fan when the head coach is a play caller, offense or defense. I'm never a big fan of that.
Why not? Even if you air Andy Reid, because Andy Reid one of the best with it.
Well, but remember, Airbnb was calling a lot of those plays. Like, Andy Reid will chime in every now and again, but Airbnb was coordinating, calling a lot of those plays, and even Andy Reid even said as much.
Speaking of Eric B, hopefully, Megan Dress said, hopefully Eric B gets the head coaching job when Ron Rivera gets fired. Do you think Eric B deserves a starting job?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. He should have been the head coach in New Orleans last year. Because Dennis Allen sucks. So absolutely. He should be first on everybody's list, to be real.
Yeah, why does it seem like he didn't get a job? Besides the one thing one might think, but football wise, why why you think he ain't got a job yet? Because a lot of players questioning him too, saying that I heard a lot of NFL players question that they don't think that he's that good, or he can't handle a good relationship with players.
Well, he's tough. He's old school. He's throwback. And he's not a hold your hand kind of guy. He'll jump on you when he needs to. But as he also said, he's also the guy that's going to defend you and have your back. But he's going to coach you, and you got to want to be coached. And some guys don't necessarily like being coached hard, coached tough. So, at the end of the day, we know why he hasn't gotten a job. And people got to kill this narrative. Oh, well, Andy Reid called the play. Well, that's a bunch of garbage because Matt Nagy got a head coaching job with no issues.
No issues, and he was terrible. He was trash. He was trash. Let's get more to the chats too. Let me see. He said Sam was decent in North Carolina, but it ain't the NFL.
Yeah.
Junior said he got Philly. Seattle is a tough pick. They my dark horse for sure. Join the Real Takes Over Fake Debate Facebook group. We talk all sports through there all the time. Join the group. You got a Facebook. Dolphins over the Jets. Agreed, Junior.
I don't know about that.
I think so. Only thing question because Sean, they was great last year until Tua got hurt. They still made the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they got a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong.
Man.
Don't get me wrong. But like Teron Armstead got hurt yesterday, the left tackle.
Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey's out for a few months. They've got to stay healthy. And and again, Tua is a big question mark. If Tua goes down,
it's over with.
Can Mike White keep him, in the hunt? So I think that's going to be a big question. I think the Jets have less questions than the Dolphins because the Jets' only real question is offensive line.
Yeah, I think the Jets got young legs too. So yeah, and then maybe what can they do to actually boost up that offensive line though, Sean? Because I'm like, you do gotta protect that quarterback. You gotta protect A-Rod.
I think getting Dalvin Cook last week was big because they can run the football. That's how you protect an older quarterback. But also, I think if you're, the Jets, do you call Green Bay about David Bakhtiari?
Oh no, they already reports. That's what I meant to tell you too. Reports already came out and said they're not trading him. That's over with. They said that is over and done with. Oh, that's what I meant to. I meant to send that to you too.
Yeah,
they said it's over with. They're not trading him.
And the fact is, SB, every year there's guys after training camp before the season starts that gets cut, and it's not so much a production issue; it's a financial thing. So there may be a left tackle that comes available. you know, after cut downs that if you're the Jets, you'll be one of the first teams, you know, calling. And so, so I think, you know, just be patient. It never fails. Somebody becomes available and you know, either via trade or, you know, free agency or cut down via waivers and, you know, see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Blue Ball said, there ain't no hopes for my Giants. Nope.
I mean, I think the Giants are a potential playoff team. They were obviously made the playoffs last year, but I do think it's the Eagles and the Cowboys in that division. I think the Giants' only hope is if Daniel Jones becomes not Daniel Jones.
That ain't gonna happen. And then it's crazy. Y'all don't even want to pay y'all best player, but you know, we see what teams do that. Get them likes up, obviously. Super Taj, another Super Giants fan, he said to Blue Ball, nah, bro, we finna be nice this year. No, I mean, y'all gonna be 9 games, make the playoffs, maybe DJ season.
Yeah.
DJ who? Danny Dimes? All right. That's what we depended on. He said that explains why Kyle Shanahan is overrated. Calling Kyle Shanahan overrated is crazy to me. Yeah. I don't know, Sean. What you think about that? I think calling Cal overrated is crazy to me. I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
I mean, overrated, maybe a little tough. I do think he is pumped in the best head coaches in the NFL without having accomplished, you know, the ultimate prize for a head coach.
Yeah,
I think he's a very good coach, but do I think he's better than Sean McVay? No. I don't think he's in that Tomlin or Belichick or Pete Carroll conversation because those guys have won. Harbaugh has won, obviously. Andy Reid, you know, I think he's in the top 10. But this top 5, I don't think he's a top 5.
It's only because he didn't get the job done yet, right? Yeah. There's always an injury with him, though. But
but I mean, you know, but also I think part of his resume is what he did in Atlanta in that Super Bowl, you know. So I think, you know, when you're up 28-3 and you're the offensive coordinator and you can't get it done, you know,
it's over with. He said Giants did get Darren Waller, which was a nice pickup, but didn't sign Saquon Barkley though, which was dumb too. He said, "Yeah, SB, is that a problem? Yes, Danny Jones. I don't want there would be no part of no DJ season. I cancel that early and often if I could." But speaking of another good saying from Grandpa. Let's hit it one more time.
Be the man. You gotta beat the man, baby. And right now, I am the man.
Speaking of somebody who is the man, Anthony Richardson has been announced who won the starting job. And he looked in the mirror and said, I am the man of this team. And the coach didn't have no choice to play him. I wish they could have waited. But this kid has all the intangibles. Sean, he got the size, he got the arm, he got the legs to run. He just needs the experience because I think that's the only problem, experience, accuracy. So I guess, you kind of convinced me because at first I didn't like it because you said it like pretty much like they ain't trying to win anyway. So how else can he get? What's the use of him sitting on the bench? So Anthony Richardson is a man to be starting. And all I'm gonna tell you this though, Sean, if this man becomes accurate and gets right,
if raise up, gonna be trouble.
It's gonna be trouble, Sean. It's gonna be trouble. And I like with his size, I don't really see him getting injured like that. With his size, I see him running over people. With the arm, the cannon he got, that's where Marvin Harrison Jr. should go. Go where your pops play. Go to the coast. It's only right. But Sean, how you feel about Anthony Richardson getting the start job? And then whatever else you was going to say too.
You know, I feel great about it as long as Jonathan Taylor's there. If Jonathan Taylor is not there, I'd be very concerned. But you know, the best thing to do when you got a young, raw quarterback with a lot of ability is run the football. And crazy enough, one of the things that the Titans/Oilers did with Stephen McNair was they had Eddie George.
Yeah.
So when he was playing, the offense ran through Eddie George. It should be the same thing with the Colts. The offense runs through Jonathan Taylor. But you got a couple, you know, I like Michael Pittman Jr. a lot. I like Alex, the other receiver they have a lot. The offensive line isn't great. It's solid. But, you know, the big thing is run the football.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put the defense in crazy, position. And and he's gonna make his mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He's learning. But I think the Colts understand that, and again, I think they'll be patient with this process. So
Now, Sean, Madden came out, right? So I would test. Yeah, Madden is out.
Okay, is that okay? All right.
Yeah, and I should have took a picture and showed so you can see it on the screen. So obviously, I do a franchise heavy. So you check the young guys. I see you like when I tell you they got Anthony Richardson built like a monster truck on that game. He like a creative player. It's ridiculous. He literally looked like look. If you get to play this next man, if you get mad, please. He make Jonathan Taylor look like Tariq Cohen on that game. That's how big they got him on it. It's ridiculous, bro. It is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and go to the chat too before we get about it. No disrespect to the G man, but I got Detroit taking the Giants' place this year in the wild card. That's not crazy to say, but it might be bad because the Lions gonna win. They might win their division, so you can't be a wild card if you win your division. So that's the only way it's not gonna happen. So unless you saying two teams out that division for to make the playoffs, I highly doubt it, but that'd be crazy. That'd be the most shocking thing of the year. If like the Bears and the Lions make it, that'd be crazy. Yeah. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Stop acting like Saquon ain't on the team. I mean, pay him. WKC. What up? What up in the basement? That's my boy Step in the building. Yeah. He gonna play get signed. We'll see. Oh, Sean, that's looking like go ahead. What you got?
I'm sorry, real quick, chat before you close down. So listen, y'all. Public service announcement. We have a fantasy football league.
Yes, sir. Oh, you should send me the link.
I will send you. I'm gonna send. I'm gonna put the link in the private chat now. We are drafting on Sunday. We have 2 spots left in the fantasy football league. 2. So if you are interested in joining the fantasy football league, I'm putting the link in the private chat.
2 spots left.
2 spots left.
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve. The draft is this Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right? You're welcome to join us. We are again going to be a lot of fun. If you've never played fantasy football before, it's a good way to learn. If you played before, obviously it's a way to get in. It is a salary cap league. It is a salary cap.
I don't know how to do that. Oh man, you got
so basically what it is you get $200 to build your team in the draft.
Oh, okay. That's different.
So you bid on players. Right? That's the way it works. So it's a lot of fun. And like I say, if you're interested, click the link. Join. We got 2 spots left. So once those 2 spots are filled, that's it.
What time Sunday?
8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
8 p.m. Once again, y'all heard it again. Then I definitely, because I got my reporter friend, Derek Tate, and I had him on the episode. I'm going to get him on again because he do focus on – he got a show called Fantasy Focus. So I'll wait till after we draft the team. If I knew – I forgot that the league was Saturday. I should have got him for today. So I'm going to get Derek to come through. And then let him grade our teams because he's a fantasy expert guy and see how many you did. But another great show here over here Takes Over Fake Debates. I'm Shaq Barnes here with my co-host Sean Webb with another great episode. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe and join the movement. And also, like I said, I had an announcement, my announcement too. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Well, I got it over here. Let me put it over here. Make this full screen. Share. Everything takes so long to share. Okay, so boom. Like I said, we're launching a bunch of Apple podcasts, so you're gonna see the logos here. Give me 1 second. Let me change the thing at the bottom. So you want to be a panelist on one of these shows. We are launching. Sean, tell me what you think about these logos. Honest opinion. We got this logo right here. If it loads, let me see. You see all them X. I got no memory left on my laptop. Jeez Louise. Did it go full screen or no?
It did not.
Because it's on this side. Okay, let me do this. And can I move it over? No, I cannot. All right. Well, it don't matter. So we got a bunch of new shows coming. We got the Heel Heat. That's the wrestling show. All Out Blitz. That's going to be the football show. we got the Starting Five podcast. It's going to be the basketball show. And then Real Takes Over Fake Debates University that we're going to try to launch soon. So if you guys want to be a panelist on any of those shows, obviously, the Real Takes Over Fake Debate show is only going to be me, Sean. That's Mondays and Fridays. And whoever guests we get from basketball players, reporters, analysts, that's us. But during the week, we want to add something else. And we want to actually give people a chance to come on the show, talk. And I wish I could have showed my logos full screen. Maybe I have to switch, but I don't want to lose my background. Let me see if I lose it. Well, they go All Out Blitz. That's going to be the new background for the All Out Blitz. And that's the logo for that one, the All Out Blitz show. Then we go to the Heel Heat folder. Doesn't see the blue flame for that for the WWE. So if anybody wants to join for the Wrestling, you're a wrestler, and tell a friend, say, hey, man, Real Takes Over Fake Debates is a network. They're trying to get people on. Then obviously the Starting Five. We still cooking up that one for the Starting Five, but that's the Starting Five logo right there. I actually like this one. Go do this thing on this one right here for the this
All Out Blitz. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. He did the thing with the flame. Made the logo. We're gonna put it on a t-shirt. We're gonna get it framed out. We're gonna do right. But like I said, SBtalksports, Real Takes Over Fake Debates with Sean. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna close it out now. Okay. Trying to feed me. Look, I had to turn around and said, food done. I'm like, okay, cool. Right? Look, it's time to go. It's time to go. See, look, wifey say, hey, the food is done. And then, so time to eat, man. Started off, it's bad enough that. Hey, time, Sean, anything you want to say, close it out, man, my brother?
Man, just appreciate y'all for joining us every Monday and Friday. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Real Takes Over Fake Debate. It's myself, my brother Shaq Barnes, aka SBtalksports.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all again, and look forward to doing this again on Monday.
Yeah, see y'all on Monday, man.
All right.
And
Y'all stay safe.
we are out of here.